business. I hope there are millions and millions of people with us today. It might be less than that, though. We'll see. We'll see where we land. But I know we have at least two other people with me today.
Yeah.
Ewing and Ryan Farrell, two fine-looking gentlemen. Tim, who's wrapping up his final bites of his focaccia bread.
I'm done for the show. I may sneak it. You never know.
We all just ate right before this. I feel like I've shit my teeth anyway.
Barely. You know what, guys? I'm excited to be here with you guys because you guys have some great topics that you've pulled together for today's show, which is awesome. And we've had a lot going on with our business and such. We did some pretty cool stuff last week. We did a training on sales presentations that was pretty cool. Had a lot of people join us for that, which is great. Last couple of days, I've been sharing some stuff on joint ventures with a guide. I don't know if you guys had a chance to check that out, but it actually was some really solid content. There was a PDF report with 21 different ways to use joint ventures to market and grow your business, and a lot of them were actually, I thought, pretty cool ideas because we usually stay pretty focused on like the top one or two ways to do it, which is work out reciprocal promotions, to promise somebody I'll promote your business if you promote mine, which happens all the time in the online marketing space. But a lot of the other ones that were in there were cool, were also just like things like how about I'll do write an article that you'll like a guest post on your website, or how about we'll each interview each other on a podcast. And a lot of them were things that were much more like you could find something on this list that were so that really anytime you talk to somebody that has another business, you could find a way to do a little partnership with them in some regard. And a lot of times people don't think of that because we might, for example, if I have a call with somebody and they kind of just have it's not really the best fit for them to like promote us and for us to promote them. And maybe I don't want to, maybe their program's just kind of off brand for me to promote to my audience or whatever. But, it certainly could work instead of doing a full promotion to somebody to just like, do I'll write a guest post and put it on your blog, that kind of thing, and I think sometimes we lose sight of some of the simple stuff like that,
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially when you come from like the internet marketing world, which a lot of us came to, and it's a lot of course creators, and it becomes very formulaic. Like there are a lot of people doing really cool partner things, right? Whether it's with other bigger brands or even users or whatever that that are great for joint venture partners. They can either help you get exposure, money, whatever. Because that's how we met Tim.
Yeah,
joint venture stuff.
I was going to say that. That was literally in my notes. I literally wouldn't know you guys and be friends with you guys if it wasn't for joint venture partnerships. For Josh, probably like 12 years. For Ryan, probably like 10 years. I met you in a joint venture partnership. Pretty cool.
Yeah,
here we are, venturing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Some of the other. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, I was going to say for the audience, if you're doing joint venture partnership, you want a business that has a similar audience, but obviously doesn't do the same thing as you. You want it to be adjacent to your business. In other words,
sure.
So I just wanted to say that for everybody out there. It's really important.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what. I was just going to say, I work for one other coach. I can name her. She's a wonderful person, Gina Gabellini. And when she does a launch, if she does say like, let's just say a $500,000 launch, probably 90% of her business comes from joint venture partnerships. So, sure. And there's so many, Josh, in your old businesses, it was quite similar ratio. So it's just very, very important. I want to share that. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say is, there's a bunch of legitimate ideas in here. And a lot of times when people, give away free reports and stuff as lead magnets, they're kind of thin on content, but this is like 27 pages of just content of good ideas and different ways that you can work with people that are, a lot of them are kind of outside of the box too. So anybody that didn't download that, I know we had over 200 people download that report in the last couple of days. Just go to the Substack And it's the most recent post on Substack has a link to go download that free report, which was pretty cool. Other things going on this week. Tim, what do you got going on Friday with the Blueprint program?
I can tell you this Friday what we're going to do. I'm going to do a tool that I know you, for lack of a better word, invented. So for all our Blueprint members, we're going to do something. I'm going to kick it off in a really something I've never done in the Blueprint in the 6 months we've been doing it or so. So I'm going to have all of our members go through a little process and actually find out the exact amount of prospects they need to get each month. In other words, on their list, just so they know how they can make their numbers. In other words, if you want to be doing hypothetically 10,000 a month, we'll break it down to you may need 143 new prospects every single month to make that number, which equals a certain amount of calls. So we're going to break it down for everybody, for our members on that call. So I think it's going to be something really beneficial, and I've done this exercise with other companies. It is a very eye-opening exercise for people, and they don't realize it. And so many of the people, for example, that have these goals, they are always under the numbers they should be at. So it really kind of lights a fire under their ass, if you will, to really start prospecting on a daily basis and nurturing them. So yeah, that's the exercise. Members only though. So, you gotta be in the club.
Yeah. So if you want to be a part of that, also, I know you got a lot of time for just open coaching and hot seats and stuff too. So for anyone that's, if you're not a member of the Blueprint program, go to the Substack and sign up for the premium membership, I believe it's called. And let me, it's been a while since I went to the Substack to try and sign up for it, actually. So it should be, if you go to jtblueprint.substack.com, there should be a pop-up of sorts at some point that allows you to get subscribed to the premium version, if you will.
And it's $25 a month, and you get a free car, right, for all new members who sign up. The next 100 to sign up. So I mean, it's a really, really good deal.
Free picture of a car.
Free picture of a car. That's what it meant. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it's a picture of a car. Yeah, everyone gets one for sure. Which will, it'll come in handy. You never know, and somebody's like, I can't find my picture of the car anywhere, and then you'll know it's in the Blueprint program. You will have one.
Look at this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool, man. Well, I'm excited for that. We got a lot of great stuff coming up. So keep an eye out for more from us on what we are up to and how we're helping people. And so lots of good stuff there. All right, let's jump in. Let's go right into one of these stories today that is I found really interesting. New Zealand Food Bank. Tim, tell us more about this.
Yeah, this is, so I was I found this site on, if you will, on some fun, interesting stories. So there's a, like every country, especially in California, there's groups like this where they, they distribute food to the home. It's a big organization in Auckland, New Zealand, which is one of the two big cities out there in New Zealand. Found out, I don't know how this happened, but one of the little things they were giving in their parcels was these little candy suckers. And unfortunately, and they're investigating it, the candy was lined with meth. So now there's people in New Zealand who are accidentally taking meth with their food. So it's quite an ordeal up there. And apparently the level of meth, which I don't recommend for anybody in their audience, don't try it, 300 times the level of a normal intake of that. So
what?
Yeah.
Well,
300? I see it now in the article, but holy shit.
Well, look at this. Right? I mean, it says that the it wasn't candy in the wrappers. They were just solid blocks of meth enclosed in the wrappers, and that the street value was $608 per candy, US dollars. So it's obviously whoever donated these candies to the shelter did not mean to.
Yeah, someone's in big trouble.
Yeah, because $608 per candy. I don't know what meth goes for on the streets, but just like having watched Breaking Bad, I'm guessing it's like $15 for a single serving.
for one meth.
A single serving. That's great.
Yeah, and so like a $608 candy must be like, 45 servings or something, right?
Yeah. I'm assuming if you do suck on it, you probably, pass out halfway through, or I guess with meth, you're up, aren't you? So yeah, anyway. But I just thought it was such a poor, somebody lost their job in Auckland, New Zealand.
Someone probably lost their life in Auckland, New Zealand. I'm telling you, like, aside from the people taking it, this is clearly like a drug dealer thing.
I don't know.
Whoever's in charge of it, put it in the wrong place.
I think it's actually like pretty uncommon for people to OD on meth. Now, I don't want to be giving out drug use advice because I actually don't know what I'm talking about. But my understanding is like uppers are hard to OD on, is my understanding. So hopefully nobody dies from this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about someone who works for whoever's selling these drugs. And somehow they ended up in a place.
Yeah.
Someone who gave away
it was 400 doses times a 600 street value. Was that $24,000? I think off the top of my head. Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, that's why I've heard some. I heard some podcasts where I don't know. I don't usually look into information on like the problems with drug use in our country and stuff, but they were talking about how rare it is for like people who are doing crack or cocaine to overdose. It's very rare. And so but now the new thing, so that was the epidemic for a long time, as the crack all over the streets, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Well, we got to take care of that. Well, now what's on the streets is fentanyl, which is killing all sorts of people. So it's like
wild.
Yeah. Something's got to be done about it.
I went to San Francisco like 2 years ago and stayed in the wrong area of town without knowing. You were in the Tenderloin. Yeah, I stayed at this really cool hotel. It was like this. It was like a 4-star like motel. You know what I mean? Where they're like the rooms are outside of it. It had like a wall, and when we pulled up, it was like an army of people just just slumped over.
Yeah, it's
falling off their bikes.
Yeah.
It's all, you were probably in the Tenderloin, which is the scariest district. But I want to go back to something you just said, a 4-star motel. I didn't know they made those.
Well, okay, so Josh, the reason I even got the idea is Josh and I went to a mastermind one in Austin. That was like the Ryan one. That was like a cool hotel. And I was like, this hotel's got a good vibe because it's got like the courtyard in the middle of the pool like you'd see in a motel, but it's nice. Right. And the rooms are nice. And it's like retro but new. Yeah. And so that's what I saw in the thing. And I was like, cool, I booked it. And then I still remember we got out of the airport. So we stayed in San Francisco for one night before we went to like Napa and Sonoma. And the Uber driver was like, why are you guys going here? And we're like, what? I don't know. He's like, no, you'll see. You'll see that you made a mistake. So we just hung out. It was weird though. It was like attached to it. It was like a super nice restaurant. And honestly, the only reason we went there is because the best breakfast place in the world is in San Francisco.
Well, the Tenderloin actually has one of the greatest. It's just right on the the block that maybe it starts to change. One of the greatest concert halls in San Francisco, the Great American Music Hall, is just right on the brink of the Tenderloin. So I have walked through there at night and survived, but don't do that either, kids. So
it was interesting.
Tenderloin has had a reputation for being like this for a long time because I remember the Dave Chappelle. It's not just a recent phenomenon with the Tenderloin area because this Dave Chappelle bit that he has in one of his stand-ups from like 20 years ago. One of Dave Chappelle's early stand-ups, and says there ain't nothing tender about that motherfucker. So it's had a reputation for a long time.
Was the weirdest part about it to me was like, so there's like, you're walking through and we walked through it and it was like me and my wife, and then we had a couple other people with us. And so when we were walking through, there were like people like, in our way that were like clearly on fentanyl or something similar, Yeah. And, but then there were these dudes. And so that were in like they're all in hoodies, but they're like brand new hoodies. They didn't look homeless.
Yeah.
Pushing these homeless people, these drug addicts out of the way to let tourists through. And my just thought immediately was like, oh, these are the guys selling them drugs and they don't want problems. Like they don't want, like, if one of them like hits me or hits my wife or something, that makes news. then people start to try to fix that area up a little bit more instead of just letting them rot, I guess.
Yeah. Well, let's hope they've come up with a plan there. But on the same note, before we get too deep into the issues, drug use problems in our country, another problem in our country that we can touch on for a moment and have a little bitch fest about. Wall Street Journal with a article that came out last week. Small businesses make hard choices as insurance costs surge. It says business owners rethink hiring and budgets as they confront higher premiums for health and other insurances. Now, first off, I'm surprised the Wall Street Journal was able to print this article and that the insurance lobbies weren't able to shut this down. But for real, though, insurance costs have been going up every year, a lot every year for as long as I can remember. Like I remember being when I was a CFO of a construction company, and I mean, like, let's just say 2006, 2007. Like I remember being just stunned by the increases in insurance costs that we had as a company and what it was costing the company, and then what we had to pass on to employees. Like we'd have, years, very commonly 30 to 40% increases, and it's like, it seems like that's the way it is almost every year. And there's something wrong with that system for sure. And now more and more companies, now don't offer hardly shit anymore because it's just so expensive, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah,
it's a shame.
I'll tell you what, it's crazy out here in California because obviously we've got a lot of serious fire areas. Like if you live in the country here, my wife's sister lives about 45 minutes from here, but in this middle of nowhere. It's like you go up a single lane highway off like 12, and there's a place like every half a mile. This year, just so they're actually thinking of selling the house because it went from 3,000 to over 6,000 a year in 1 year. Isn't that nuts?
Is that for their homeowners or their health insurance?
Homeowners, yeah. Oh, you're talking about health.
Well, homeowners too. Yeah, mine went up. Mine skyrocketed this year, and I was able to work with them to get it back to where it was through making some tweaks and changes. But yeah, they came back to me originally with like a 60% increase, and I was like, "Excuse me."
Yeah.
But health insurance, though, is what this article is about specifically, and they're all going through the roof. And it's, to me, they always come up with all these reasons to make it seem like it's not just like that they're just able to do it because they can make more money.
Well, that's
like this with the
got
homeowners. Yeah, it's like they're not improving quality of care, or nothing else is really changing except that they're charging everyone more.
Yeah, I don't know the answer of how to fix it because I'm sure they're like being somewhat honest about. I'm sure they're being somewhat honest about their costs going up, and that's why they're doing it. Like, but not completely. I don't think this is just for executives to get paid more.
Yeah.
But there's clearly something wrong. There's seriously something wrong because even if all the executives took their cut in half, they got paid their pay cut in half. It's not going to affect most people's premiums very much. So like there's something wrong with it too. Cause I've noticed that a lot. Like especially because before, like my wife's previous job, like they paid 100%. They like paid for everything. And then when she left, because the place just sucked to work at, like I was like, damn, this is a lot because it'd been years since we had to mess with it.
Yeah,
it had gone up a shitload in just a couple of years. I don't know the answer, but like something's got to happen.
Yeah, it's tough. Obviously, everyone knows. Go ahead, Tim.
I was going to say cap CEOs. I mean, it's crazy that these some guys and girls are making, 40 million, where the actual workers are making, 60,000 or whatever it is. So it's pretty strange. But I have a funny insurance joke from Chris Rock. I'm just going to say it. He says it on home insurance. He goes, "So I have insurance in case shit happens. If nothing happens, I want my money back."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Again, Chris Rock. His delivery.
It's a challenging situation for sure. And unfortunately, I don't think anything's going to change. anytime soon. And
well, that's what happens when something becomes a hot button like political issue too, and is that nothing changes ever, because it's like, once it's like you become the complete solar opposites of like what needs to happen, and then or polar opposites. Sorry, I watched the solar opposites show, but polar opposites of what should happen, and then nothing fucking happens at all.
Yeah,
because that's all they're gonna do is just argue about it.
All right, what's?
Yeah, let's do let's do the next depressing thing we could go through.
So this is the somewhat business show today, right?
I think Josh might be frozen, or he's deep in thought. You know what?
All right,
we'll move on until we get him back.
I think he's deep in thought for sure. So why don't I cover this Ohio bill, Ryan, while we're waiting for Josh to make an appearance again? I saw him move, so that's good. He's still thinking.
Yeah, Josh, you're back. You were frozen for a minute.
Oh, I'm back. Good.
Yeah. So I was going to just jump in and, play host for a minute while you were frozen. So I'm going to jump into this story that I thought was absolutely insane. So, every state, for those of you who don't know, has their own Supreme Court. And for whatever reason, they met on this subject. And this is correct. Boneless chicken wings, if you're in Ohio, have the right to have bones, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can't sue them. You can't. If you had a bone stuck in your throat from boneless chicken wings, the Supreme Court says that's okay in Ohio. So I'm going to suggest that you probably order boneless chicken wings in the other 49 states, because they do not have a boneless rule for the boneless chicken wings. Your input is welcome to this story.
What?
Wow. Well,
Ryan,
what's causing this? Like what's causing this to even be a thing?
Here's the first problem: is that it says his usual order was boneless wings with Parmesan garlic sauce. I mean, you deserve to have a bone in there if you're going to order that. Honestly.
Yeah. All right. Well, hold on real quick before we go back. What's everyone's sauce of choice here? All right. What's it like? You go to a wing stop because they have a million wings. I don't know, whatever. What do you get?
I'm a traditional buffalo medium because I'm a wuss with heat. Yeah. What do you got?
Me? I'm dry rub all the way. I don't know if
dry rub too.
Like Cajun dry rub wings. Give me that. God, dude, I love Cajun dry rub wings. They're the best. Like, they're the best wings. Yeah, and when I make them at home, that's what I do.
I think the key is unless you are at the restaurant, even if you are at the restaurant, a lot of times the key is to just order the wings crispy, no sauce on the side, whatever sauce you want on them. That way they don't come out soggy, and you can just dip your wings in the sauce and hammer them, and they're still got that crisp to them, and they're not all, flabby. And
ordering them crispy or well done is the move.
That move, I've never done that. I actually like that a lot.
That's the key, and the right sauce is certainly the buffalo sauce, whether you want it medium or hot. That is definitely the move, not the Parmesan garlic sauce. I once got chicken ordered for all the movers. This was when we moved a year ago to our new house. I was like, "What do you guys want for lunch?" They wanted Wingstop, so we got this just huge spread. There were like 6 guys there or something. We had this huge spread of wings and fries and stuff like that, and like I was just appalled at the sauces these guys wanted to go with their wings. And so obviously people have different taste preferences with their wings. I know that for a fact. I don't even remember what they were. I just remember being like, "You want what? You're going to do what with your wings?" Come on.
See, the problem with doing the weird wing flavors like Parmesan, it's good. They're all good. But the wing places should really allow you to okay, I want to get hot wings, hot buffalo wings, and then have like an add-on that's like, would you like to try, would you like to get 2 in a different flavor as a palate, like palate change? Like, yes, I would like lemon pepper or whatever, because that's great. But I can't imagine sitting down and ordering some like Asian wings, like wings you go to and you go to a place and you got to get one that's like some I don't know, some they're great. Like sweet chili wings or something. They're great, but I'm not trying to eat a whole plate of that, to be honest with you. And I could be tripping.
No,
People might
you
be like,
I've had some sweet chili wings. No, it's solid.
they're great, but I don't want a whole plate of them is the thing. If I'm going to sit down and have wings, I'm never going to order it. So like, I think almost all the flavors of wings are usually good. Otherwise they wouldn't have them. Yeah. These people know wings.
If I want some flavor like that, I mean, like you're basically at that point ordering like General Tso's chicken, you know? And it's like, I'm not in the mood for Chinese. I'm in the mood for wings. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That's what I'm saying.
But I also don't want bones in my boneless wings because I don't order boneless wings at restaurants. But like, if I did, I wouldn't want bones. I'm guessing this is just to stop people from suing. So from like reading this, it's like if you get a little bitty bone in there, like not that there's going to be a full bone going through it, but if you get like a little bone and choke on it, or like it, hurts you. But like, who is eating so recklessly?
What?
But I
who's eating
want to know
wings so recklessly?
A state Supreme Court job, I'm assuming, is a pretty important job to take people. It's just kind of strange that they would decide to have a boneless chicken wing is on their priority. Maybe, the healthcare we talked about earlier, other kinds of safety, but it's a lot of taxpayers' money.
Some of it comes down to like maybe truth in advertising to some extent of like, hey, you say the product is this, we should have an expectation that it is that. But at the same time, it's like, obviously there was a piece of a bone in there. I mean, it's chicken, and maybe there's some bones adjacent in the, production process. And this particular boneless wing got a little piece of a normal in it, I don't think it's their standard practice to like, let's put a little chunk of bone in each one of these,
Yeah.
It's obviously an accident. And I think probably the right thing for them to rule, since they had to put it this way, but really it's like, you shouldn't be entitled to compensation from this business because there was accidentally a bone in the wing. I mean, that's my opinion. It kind of is like it's kind of like the old classic story of the hot coffee at McDonald's.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They burn yourself with hot coffee and the coffee's too hot. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Like if the cup like malfunctioned and like it burned through the bottom of the cup and spilled on you, like, sure. Right. If you spill your coffee on you and then sue someone, you need to grow up, dude. Like, especially because we'd have people do that stuff. They'd act like it burnt their fingertips. I worked at Starbucks in college.
Yeah.
Like, stop it. Get out of here with that. Stop grabbing the cup then. Grab the sleeve that we put on it because it's fucking hot. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell people.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Tim, you got another one here. What?
I was just going to say, I'll go to another one, but I was going to say, Ryan, it's kind of weird you'd say that. Didn't you say that you burned yourself on the steak at Josh's wedding and you were considering action or something you had said to me?
Yeah. Well, but that's just the ploy for money. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to get all of Josh's money. That's what it's all about doing. I don't actually mean it.
Yeah. I knew as soon as I saw him walk through the door, I knew he was going to manufacture a crisis.
So, we can jump into this other story about small businesses. Is that the one, Josh?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do it.
So there's been a cool trend here in the United States that there's been an increase here in small businesses across the country. And it's been one of the best rebounds they've seen in a while. So sales rose by 3.5%. In small businesses, and they're finding there's certain things that people actually, including myself, actually occasionally like to go out and shop for because small businesses are getting killed because we know, we need something. We hit a button, Amazon's at our door either in the same day or the next day with our product. But there's been a trend with businesses that people are actually going out again and especially supporting small businesses, which I'm a big fan of for the economy. So it was just nice to see, a 3.5% increase from what we've seen in the future. And your thoughts are welcome, boys.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it looks like it went down the month before and then back up again. So I wonder what the overall trend is. Maybe I'm missing it. There's too many numbers on the screen for me to digest it right now, but nonetheless, good to hear people spending more.
Yeah, it was general merchandise. Business. Yeah, general merchandise was the biggest, strongest category. I'm looking at it right now at 11%. and health and personal care products were 9% of these had these increases. So those tweak the numbers a lot, but it's really good. I also something that's not in this article. I actually saw this morning with my coffee. Inflation in this country is at a near 4-year low. The very beginning of 21, it was this low. And we're at, I think, 3% inflation now in this country. So it's really, that's also a positive trend.
I still don't buy it. Any inflation number drives me nuts when it happens. Cause like,
yeah, they leave out a couple categories that are pretty important.
Yeah. Like there's like food seems to continuously get more expensive and it's not in there. And that's wild to me. That it's like, okay, let's figure out ways. Like, I don't know, dude, like I go back and forth between the government, like doing too much and not doing enough on certain things. Like, cause people, I want people to have some freedom, but like, man, like if you raise prices because of inflation and inflation goes back down and your costs are going back down, no consumer has the proof that your costs are going down, like genuinely. But like if they are, like and stuff that people need, like you should, the prices should reflect like some sort of thing. But at the same time, it's like, how do you like make businesses do that?
Yeah, they're not gonna do that.
No. So like it's like the inflation goes up, prices go up, inflation comes down, prices stay up. So it's like it is exciting for these large manufacturing businesses, but it sucks.
Well, because inflation's not down. It's still, there's still inflation, 3% inflation. It's just not as high as the astronomical inflation that there was not too long ago. And so it's like I heard an analogy. I heard it said that like when they're talking about like inflation's down, that's like a fat person saying, I've lost weight, but they're actually just gaining a little slower than they were gaining before.
There's a great show on that, Josh. I tried to get you to watch, but
oh, My 600-Pound Life.
I can't do those shows, man. They make me so sad.
No, I know.
But look, there are clips from that are hilarious. I've seen.
I do see the good bit of data in this article, which is compared with July of last year, sales rose 3.5%. So that's good. That's good to see. 3.5% increase in sales for small businesses, according to this survey or index or however they do it. But yeah, still certainly, it's not going to change. So this is like Ryan said, pricing. If we're, the inflation thing, prices don't go back down. The only thing that happens with is like energy prices, and then if there's like a crash in housing prices.
Or housing, there's like some in like housing and stuff like where they're like where the prices depending on rates.
Commodities. Yeah,
I can think of one weird thing that keeps going down remarkably: flat screen televisions. I don't know what you're doing, but I mean, I remember when I bought my first flat screen, it was something for the bedroom that was like 18 inches or whatever, and it was like $500. I mean, now, I bought one a while ago, not big, but like 55 to me is very large, and I paid like I don't know $500 for it at Best Buy, at Samsung. I mean, it's really something's going down at least. So
I'm gonna plug a TV real quick if you don't mind. The best TV in the world to get. I got it when we moved in. Is the Samsung frame. Like if you mess with that, you guys know what that is. It's incredible. Dude, like, so when I moved in there, there's a fireplace that had the big ass painting over, and that's clearly where the TV should go unless you want a tiny TV. They have this like built-in shelving area where it'd have to have like a 37-inch TV or something for it to be there because there's like a media closet behind it, which is like insane. Who's doing that? I think it used to be when the house was built. I think it was when those big tube, big screen TVs were there, and I think that was initially for it, and that's why they had the media closet behind it. But I'm not doing that, so we put it there. And the Samsung frame, when you turn it off, it looks like a picture. And like it genuinely fools people unless they're staring at it up close that it looks like a painting on the wall. And I'm never buying enough. I will plug Samsung. I hope one day this gets big enough for Samsung to start sending me free TVs because I'll plug that shit until I die. It's an amazing thing. It sits so flat against the wall you can't even tell. Problem is though, is you don't have like it's so thin the guts of the TV are not in it. We had to like cut a hole in our wall and put like a media box behind it. To put like there's like a box that's got the stuff that you need, so it's technically in our wall behind the TV. And it's awesome.
Fantastic.
It's nice. Only the finest for Ryan Farrell.
Only the finest. I'm not. Yeah, like I have honestly considered it, and it's so stupid. Like
You're so
just getting rid
snobby.
of all my TVs and then getting rid of all of them. Yeah, it's a snobby ass thing, but it's a dope TV.
I'm joking. You're not snobby.
I also, it is the TV industry. Somebody needs to look at that and replicate that across some other businesses as well, because like the TV thing, they've really come down in price. Like Tim said, over the, like 20 years ago, a flat screen TV was like $2,000, and now you can get one that's pretty good for a few hundred. Hey, get in here for a second, Eddie. I got somebody over here but making fart noises. Come here. Come on. You're trying to disrupt me, so now you got to come on, be special.
Eddie, give us a fart noise.
Yeah, now we got to be a special guest.
7-year-old Eddie, what's up, buddy? Good.
Yeah, special guest Eddie Turner. What are you doing today, buddy?
Making noise with Florp Noise Putty.
Oh, making noise with the Flarp Noise Putty.
Get one in the mic.
It's like this.
That never gets old, dude. If
Special
I had
guest
that
Eddie Turner. Hey,
Yay.
I'll be out. I'll be done in a few minutes. Quit stand. This guy's standing out by the door making fun. The TV.
The TV.
At least it's something Eddie and I have in common. I find that absolutely
The TV's
hysterical.
having a problem.
Yeah.
Use a different TV. Okay, we've come full circle on the TV topic, and I've realized that he's having problems with the TV, which is why he's in here. Last day of summer for Eddie Leroy. He's got his first day of school tomorrow, so very exciting day here in the Turner house.
I didn't know the middle name was Leroy. There was actually a cool artist back in my music days we sold, and he just went by Leroy. He's actually
nice. Nice. Yeah, it's a family name, actually.
I assumed.
Yeah, well, so what I was going to say something too about the increased cost of TVs. You know what I've been waiting for the cost to come down on, but it doesn't seem to be happening, is those Roomba vacuums.
What is it? I have a crazy dog in the background.
Those little robot vacuum cleaners. They're called Roomba. They've been stuck at like $300. Maybe you can get the cheap one for like $300, and then the nice one's like $500. And I'm like, when are these going to come down? When's someone going to make one that's $100?
Those are a sore subject for me because I have two.
Oh.
And now that we have 4 kids, our house has too much shit everywhere for us to properly use them because our kids are garbage people.
Will it not
leave stuff everywhere?
Does it not go around the things on the floor?
It does, but like there's too much. It's gonna eventually get stuck on something like because there's too many small things too.
Yeah,
it's gonna pull in like a coloring book page or something.
I see. So, wow, the Roomba actually pretty commonly is $600, $1,000. Here's one for $300. Wow, they've got some expensive ones. Wow, here's an industrial grade automatic floor scrubber for $6,000. But it's like one of those big ones. So that's pretty cool. That's not going to help, but yeah. I think someone needs to make a knockoff of this guy, Let's get the cost down on that.
Did you have one of those at your house? I didn't notice.
I do not.
Yeah, but I had one up for upstairs, one for downstairs, and it was great until we had our third kid, and then it became impossible.
I have border collie. It would freak the fuck out if it would literally stay outside.
Yeah.
House.
Well, that's what I tried to have one once, and my old dog was going nuts. He couldn't handle it. So yeah.
It's so funny. You need it for pet hair, but the pet's free.
Yeah.
There are cats that just ride them though. I've seen those videos, and I'm not really like a cat video guy, but I will watch them and smile.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a cat video guy. You're wrong.
You know what else? I don't have a wine segment for today, but another thing I've been hearing a lot of talk lately on some of the bulletin boards and forums that I read about wine and the wine business and all things wine, and wine prices have been really going up for years. COVID, with all the money that got pumped into the markets and everything, that jacked prices up too. Everyone had more money and was buying more wine, and some areas have gone up more than others. But what I'm starting to hear now about different wineries and producers actually reducing prices because they're not seeing the demand that they were. So their prices kind of accelerated for a few years, and now they're up in the stratosphere, and they need to kind of come back down to reality a little bit. So that would be good. And that'll present opportunities, good buying opportunities for guys like us who are out there always hunting for a bargain on wines. So we'll see what happens. Yeah.
2 things on that. That Dry Town Cellars I talked about a couple weeks ago, it's $30 or less for any bottle. Number 2, I do have a wine segment for you for the next show in a couple weeks. Is you got to do it on that white that you served at your house that was just out of this world. So
sure.
That is my recommendation.
Yeah. I can do that one today. I can talk about that off the top of my head easily. Yeah.
I like when you show the bottle, but Josh made the ballsy claim. He goes, "This is the best bottle of white wine I've ever had." I'm like, "Cool." I'm like, "Check it out." And both my wife and I are like, I think he's right. I mean, it was that good. It's delicious. I could drink it for breakfast almost, Yeah. But don't do that either.
Yeah. So that was a Kobayashi, which is a winery out of Washington State, and they focus on making like Rhone varietals, so like Rhone Valley in France, and so they're reds. It's a lot of Syrah. The whites is Viognier and Marsanne, Roussanne, and there's a good chance I'm not pronouncing any of that right. But the one we had was their Viognier, which is a phenomenal wine. I've had it twice now, and it's just so good, so good.
That was Viognier?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, okay. I'll have to have you text me that bottle because literally this time next week I will be landing in the beautiful state of Washington.
Well, so Kobayashi, if you have a chance, if you can somehow hook up and go to their plant or whatever, I don't even know if they have a proper tasting room or what they do. They don't have a normal distribution channel selling in many stores at all. It's mostly just selling to their mailing list. And so they basically just sell out every year. I get like 2 emails from them a year. One is the one that comes out in like July. That's like, here's the wines we have for sale this year. And then they ship them in the fall, and they sell out off that one email. And then like later in the year, they send out an email about some party that they have every year. That's it. That's all I hear from them. But they've got this buzz online that just drives people to their mailing list and signing up and buying their wines, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Fun fact: they were also they were named after the competitive hot dog eater Kobayashi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, because you know how sometimes people dip hot dogs in the water when they're in a competition.
It's actually wine.
He was dipping it in an expensive white wine.
Viognier.
So you're full and drunk at the end of it.
Yeah. No, his the husband-wife team. I know the guy his name's Travis, who's the main winemaker, and then his wife, who's in the business in some capacity too, is Asian. I think her name's Mario. I don't remember where the name Kobayashi came from, but it has something to do with the Asian roots, which is cool. Their bottles are great, so highly recommend them for sure if you can get it. When they sent their mailing out with the allocations to people that are on their list, I had they would only let me buy 3 bottles of that. So
wow,
it's like pretty tight. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing, buddy.
Cool.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, no problem, man. I'd be happy to. I'll save another one for you for our next adventure.
I'll be there.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, Ryan, let's talk about this gentleman, Carter Vale. Tell us about this.
Okay, so this is the music segment. And I'm gonna work in a marketing lesson with it too. This is the reason I brought it up. This is honestly the reason why I paid attention to this guy to begin with. Is this guy? His name's Carter Vale, and I'll bring it up in a second. But there's some context to it. He creates really funny like short songs that go viral constantly, and he's used that to kind of launch his actual music career. So he created videos for a long time of him. He's like a producer and a songwriter. So he does it out of his house. He's not, like it's not like a signed person. He, at least I don't know if he was, he might be now, and he used to create all this content around like, oh, here's all these different like audio effects that I use to make my voice sound like this. And here's the plugins that I use with this tool and this, run the audio through this into this, that kind of thing. And so he's like a big audio nerd, which I'm not, but like they're cool. And then he started making these videos that would like funny videos, and they'd like pop off and go nuts. And then now he's like going on tour with like known artists and stuff. And I think he's pretty good. So I'm trying to figure, because they're on Instagram, but I'm going to do my best on YouTube because it's like YouTube Shorts. I'm going to refresh the screen because it's going to play right away. I'm going to play some of the funny songs first, and then we'll play something serious, and I'll get you guys' thoughts on it. But let me just share my screen. So it's this guy. Oh, I don't have it up. Sorry. It's this guy, if you've ever seen him. But I'm going to refresh it so it starts over.
I am a goddamn motherfucking cowboy. Daddy was a cow and my mama was a boy. Half person, half cow. That's me, a cowboy. Hoodle-idle, life's a nightmare.
Yeah, and then that's the song. So he has a bunch of stuff like that that I think is fucking hilarious. I'm gonna do one more, but I have to. This is his big one. Dirt Man, that like, I think this was. Okay, here we go.
We're guys. We keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man, in case he comes to town. What? Keep a little dirt under my pillow for the dirt man, so he won't take me down to his lair deep under the mountain. What are you talking about? Underground. That's where he keeps his dirt. We're guys.
So I love him. I don't know if you guys think they're funny or not, but I think it's amazing.
He's just, is he, did I get this right? Is the "we're guys" part of the song?
Yeah, we're guys.
And then we're guys, and then he goes on to the keeping the dirt under the pillow.
Yeah, and these songs, like I saw like on Instagram, it's got like, I think views, it's like 50 or 60 million views.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like massively viral, and for just something really silly like that. And so then I followed him like a month or two ago. And then he just mentioned that he's going on tour this fall, and he's done, you know, like so I think he's going to, so he's kind of used this to launch in between, like, here's a marketing thing. So like he uses this his Instagram content to entertain people. Right. Yeah. But he mixes in videos that look just like that, but are his serious songs as well. And people really start to like it, and they're starting to follow him on Spotify. Yeah. They're buying his merch. They're buying his albums. And it's been good. So here's a song called Arizona that I like. And it's this is his serious version of it. So this is more of it. But I
nice
think
little marketing strategies.
I think he's a brilliant marketer. Honestly, he could do so much better. He should be selling the shit out of merch and stuff to make money while this is all going. But I know his dream is to, become a bigger musician.
His dreams to what?
It's time to
to become like an actual,
fine web hosting with Bluehost Cloud. The new
Arizona. What did you mean when you said nobody gets their kicks for free? I'm coming out like a gunshot. We're gonna fall eventually. So baby, don't stop, do it again.
Well, that should be on Alt Nation. That sounds like every song they play on Alt Nation.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Play it for a few more seconds.
Hey, do you have XM, right, Sam?
Do I have what?
Sirius XM radio?
I actually don't right now. I'm into it obviously on your phone and all that, but I'm in the car so little, so it doesn't make sense for that.
True. Oh yeah.
Phone, but I actually canceled it because I have subscriptions and CDs, and records, and Spotify, and that Nugs app. So
sure, okay, fair enough.
Nugs app or anything.
Ryan, what else you want to touch on here?
Well, so a couple of things. So I mentioned before that I think it's a really smart marketing strategy that his videos that always got the most views and interaction with the funny videos. Yeah. He does them all the time. And mixing in his, initial stuff, and that's causing them to have some success, which is great. One other thing that I had, and it's a topic that we probably won't get to, that I've seen, it's talked about almost, I wouldn't say as much. It's almost like it's supposed to be like the antithesis of like AI. So like AI is like 90% of the articles you read about marketing. It's like how to use AI to not do anything, and or to get to analyze your data and all of this stuff. Another buzzword is like user generated content. And so the one other thing that I thought was smart to do, we don't have to necessarily watch it, is on all of these short videos, like there's at least, there's probably a dozen comments near the top that are always like, make a full song, like what, on the funny videos.
Right.
The one thing that he did is he started to create, like, he would do the first part and then he would just have the instrumentals in the back end of it because he didn't want to create the full song because, like he's already kind of hit gold with what he did. And so then all of these other Instagram/YouTube or TikTok creators who will also do music and can sing, then created different verses to it. And so there's like probably 100 of them that I saw because there's like a playlist. Yeah. Like this guy down here. And so it's like he called it like an open verse challenge, and he got people to come in and do the second verse. And they all have their own audiences for the most part, not all of them, but a lot of them do. And it's like, I don't have the numbers of how his channel grew, but I imagine it was a big win for him to do that without him having to do much. Like he just took his old video and then like just like made it longer, right. Like without him even standing in it. So then they can put themselves on the video and then and do it. So that's my music portion.
Oh, nice, man, nice. I'll have to listen to some of his songs. So it's a good recommendation there. Nice marketing strategy. It also reminds me, this has nothing to do with business. That in that little fun video when he was saying we're guys, it reminds me of have any of you heard of this obscure comedian Casey Rocket? No. Okay. Goop. YouTube. Casey Rocket. When Men Were Men. This guy, I can't get this little bit out of my head where he's basically goofing on the idea of how if people talk about when men were men, like back in the day when men were men.
Should I do the short one right here or this?
I know one where men were men. That's like go up a little bit. I don't know. It should be pretty damn short.
Is it his stand up on like the Kill Tony show?
That one is fine. Sure.
You know him. You love him. Ladies and gentlemen, rising superstar. Make some noise for Casey Rocket, everybody.
I'm warning you that this guy's goofy. This is weird. Ready for some weird.
Thank you. Hell yeah. Lord, forgive me, because I'm about to riff. All right. Very cool. All right. God, miss when men were men in this country. You know what I mean? Just miss when men were men. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about when men were men. You know what I'm saying? Talking about dressing up like a deer and scaring your Latino neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Como se dice the Wendigo. You know what I'm getting at? Talking about when men were men. You know what I mean? When men were what? Men. Folks, hey, talking about when men were men. Talking about calling in late to work because you got caught in a saw trap again. You know what I'm saying? Talking about when men were men. Talking about when men were men. Folks. Talking about that. Folks, hey, men were what? Men. I'm talking about adopting a kid and getting him really sick just so you can meet John Cena. You know what I mean? I'm talking... Then avenging Shawn Michaels' loss at WrestleMania 23. Talking about men were what? Men. I'm talking about having a daughter fall in a well and she comes back every 7 days to crawl out of people's television screens. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about when men were men. Guys, hey, I'm talking about when men were men here. I'm talking about pulling a gun on Papa John and demanding he apologize for saying the N-word. You know what I mean? You really let us down, Papa! All right, thank you. I'm Casey Rocket. Have a good night.
Oh my God, what a ballsy 60 seconds just to go up there and just be that weird. And you have 60 seconds total. You gotta love it.
Yeah.
What that dude should do is have other people, if he has a following, I don't know if he does, have other people make their own When Men Were Men videos and emulate him. And I think that would be great.
I've thought about that bit so many times. I just think it's so funny.
Because he can say whatever he wants after When Men Were Men, and it's funny. The weirder it is, the better it is.
Right. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Is he like big other than that? Do you know anything about him other than that?
Find some T-shirts that say "When Men Were Men" and we'll send them to you guys. So we can. That'll be our official company apparel.
If they have sleeves, though, expect them to get cut off because I'm not wearing a When Men Were Men shirt with sleeves.
No.
I don't even smoke cigs anymore. I don't even smoke a cig on stream. When Men Were Men.
Yeah, well, it's always nice to find these gems like Carter Vale and Casey Rocket.
The Carter Vale thing, it's seriously, I think really half the appeal is I just like am fascinated with how he's going about his business, and I'm like I really hope he does well, like beyond this. But
yeah, man, yeah, good deal. Well, guys, you guys got anything else for today? If not, we can wrap it up.
I don't today. I think I used it all in my music segment, which I really appreciate. I'll be taking it back in 2 weeks.
Very nice. Good job today, guys. I appreciate all the work and appreciate everyone tuning in to hang out with us and learn about what life was like back when men were men.
Well, actually, yeah. Well, here's my final thought. We don't have a final thought of the day. The final thought is don't be afraid to take risks and be weird and do things that you think are cool because that's what these guys are doing, and it's paying off for them. So
yeah,
they're on our show.